Here we go.
Okay, real quick, why don't you just go around and introduce ourselves?
I'm Diti Von William.
And how old are you?
I am 20.
20, and you live in?
I live in Irvine.
Irvine, okay.
It's Varun Shahi, and I'm 22, and I'm from Norwalk.
Norwalk, okay.
Vikas Shahi, I'm 19 and I'm from Norwalk.
Okay.
I'm Sachin Chada and I'm 22 and I'm also from Norwalk.
And tell me in regards to a little bit more, and you were friends of Scott's, longtime friends, and you've known him a long time. And you got the call that he had gone missing from his girlfriend up in the Kern River. And immediately, this was the day after the actual incident where he went missing.
Yeah.
And then you basically, you got in your cars and you went up there. And what did you see when you got up there? What were you met with?
Well,
First we met with the girlfriend and her parents.
Okay.
They were already up there at this point, and they pretty much, we met them at a gas station close by, and they took us to the actual campsite, which was about 2 miles up north from that area. And we got there, it was just an emotional experience. The mom and dad of Scott and Yakato were already present, and they were in tears. It was just very emotional. I mean, even for us, I mean, we saw the spot where, you know, this happened, and to think something like this even could happen to our best friend, it was tough.
What was the scene like there? Was it a lot of people in that? Is it a regular campsite?
Yeah, so think about this, this camp area is like, there's secluded campsites.
Okay.
So it looked like this area where they were, it was just them and perhaps maybe 1 or 2 more tents with other people. And so it was just, mainly what we saw were the group that went with Scott. And they were there sitting, and the dad was actually out on the search already at this point. He was searching, the mom was there, of Scott and Yakato, and the parents of the girlfriend were also present.
and a couple of their friends that were.
And did they, I had heard reports that they had tried to tie a tether from one end of the river to the other and tethered an actual life raft or a raft in between the middle there. Was there any semblance of the actual tether or anything there that was left over?
There was a cut rope.
There was a cut rope?
Yeah, the ropes
On each side.
on each side. So it looked like it had been cut middle somewhere, and like one piece was on that side, one piece was on this side.
What did you hear in regards to what caused the rope to go unleashed?
So I mean, that's the thing. First of all, the story, we're still trying to get it straight. It looks like every time we ask around, it changes a little bit. But from what I understand at this point is, so they tied this rope that went across. I don't know how they did that, but they got this rope tied on both sides. Then they used another rope, tied the raft, and tied that rope to this long rope. So it was actually a pretty clever idea. It would make sure that the raft would stay just from one end to the other end. But what they didn't realize is if a current came through, it can like flip it over. So apparently when this incident happened, first thing that went wrong is this is what we heard is that somebody was holding the rope on this side. So it wasn't tied at this point anymore. And it was either let go or somebody let go or something went wrong and the rope got let go. And which also doesn't make sense if you think about how the rope would be on 2 sides. But something happened and so the rope wasn't tied anymore. And this is when we were told that for about a minute they were stuck in the middle of the river. And so the second thing we don't understand is why they had a paddle too. They could have easily paddled back. I don't know why for that minute they just stood there, maybe they panicked, like they didn't realize what was going on, and so they just panicked.
What was the time of the day that this happened? Took place that you know of?
We were told it was around 6:30.
So it was still sunlight? It was
Well,
just
yeah, definitely sunlight. Yeah.
still sunlight. Okay, and it was warm, hot up there then?
Yeah, it was yeah, like at least 80s, 90s.
And to your knowledge, did they have life vests on?
No,
They did not.
They did not. That was one of the problems.
Okay, and then what type of raft was it? Was it a? I saw photos of the raft on from the sheriff's department, what they saw located later. But it was it a standard size raft, or was it something you get up to the 5 and dime, or what kind of raft was this?
Why the 5?
Yeah, it was
The
like
5 and dime variety?
Inflatable that they rented or bought from
Okay.
the local area, and yeah, that's what they were using to cross.
Now, did Scott have any background in swimming or?
He couldn't swim at all. Actually, not us four. We
Right, yeah.
all can't swim, and that's another thing that surprised me in the beginning.
As far as in like their friends, they're 4 best friends, and all 4 of them don't know how to swim, so it's kind of weird. But
So we don't go in
it's
the
their
water.
thing, I guess. But
Scott's the
it's not-
smartest
it's-
one out of us, all four of us, and what we can't understand, because he would not do that. He's really cautious, safety concerned. He would wear a life vest, and we don't understand why he would do that on that. I don't know.
And yeah, like you said, that's the other thing we're trying to figure out. I mean, I lived with Scott for the last 3 years, and actually last year we had an apartment with a swimming pool, and I would try to tell him, hey, let's go swimming. It's really hot, we can go out there. He would be very concerned, like, I can't swim, I don't know if I should go in water, whatever it is. He's very self-conscious, aware of his surroundings, and so for him to do this, it really, and without a life jacket is very. We're surprised.
Well, the other thing is that they started doing this really early in the morning, like 10 o'clock. So at that point, he might have been okay with, doing this because they went back and forth several times. So he was probably comfortable by then. Nothing with this. Nobody anticipated that a current would just come and knock them over. I bet that didn't even go through his mind that this is dangerous.
Now, Varun, you guys had mentioned that you three consider yourselves best friends with Scott, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about his. What is he? Did he? I hate to use the term party, but was he a straight shooter, or did he enjoy going out and?
He
Crazy.
didn't
Yeah.
go out at all.
Yeah.
He didn't go out at all.
He has never drank before. He doesn't do any of that.
Got it.
That's why he was such a great guy.
What about the party that was with him? Anybody else in that group? Do you know, or?
Dude, we don't even know anybody except like the girlfriend. That's the only one I know like a little bit.
I've met the roommate of the
Yeah.
girlfriend before, mainly because we lived in the same complex this year.
Okay.
But aside from that, anybody that was there.
And Scott is that type of person. He doesn't even buy into peer pressure. He is so strong-willed. It's crazy. I can't believe this.
So then, talk to me about the search party. You guys created your own search party. You got you show up and you have what do you have? What are you wearing?
I was wearing Vans, those Vans that don't even have any sport on the bottom, the flat ones. So that's what I was wearing.
Yeah, I had shorts on and these shoes on here. Not prepared at all, especially for the train that we went on hiking. It was just we weren't prepared at all.
You started on one side of the bank and then you went to the other side of the bank. How'd you get from cross to cross?
So there's a bridge at the bottom that goes across.
Okay.
And that was the thing. It was sort of difficult to find a way. Even we had to ask the locals around to try and see how we can get on the other side. And they told us about this trail that we can take. So this is what we ended up doing the day after we arrived, which would be Wednesday, with the family of Scott Niacato.
First we searched on the east side, right? Then
Yeah, this would be the
east side on the road. We tried to go near the river and look if we could find anything.
This was the day we arrived.
Yeah, the day we arrived. So and then we went to the other side.
Why don't we stop right here?